Welcome back. HDFC Bank. Looks like investors cannot have enough and more of HDFC Bank. On Friday, HDFC Bank touched a new high. Yesterday, on Monday, it managed to go closer to 600 rupees, and today also it is consolidating quite smartly on strong volumes. 577 rupees for HDFC Bank. Just to give you a comparison here, look at the 1 year price chart of HDFC Bank versus ICICI Bank. Now HDFC Bank in last 1 year is up by 13%. ICICI Bank really has gone the other way around. On your screen, HDFC Bank is up 13%, ICICI Bank is down 16%. Axis Bank, which is again from the same basket, the private sector banking space, it is down by about 22%. So HDFC Bank in last 10 years has appreciated from about 130 rupees to current levels of 500 rupees, and it's a 2 rupee stock, so which means it's been a 40 bagger in last 10 years. That is the kind of franchise value HDFC Bank management has managed to create for long-term shareholders. So perfect time to bring on board the management to talk about what's the way forward for HDFC Bank in the near term, in the medium term, and in the short term. Paresh Sutankar, Chief Executive Director of HDFC Bank, joins us now. Paresh, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, Paresh, you've recently cut your base rates by about 25 basis points. Though this is quite marginal, what has prompted this cut?
The base rate calculation is a function of deposit rates in certain specific tenors, and then the cost of reserves, both CRR and SLR, and then a couple of other items relating to costs and returns. Almost the other three elements other than reserve costs have remained largely stable, and there have been very marginal differences in those. So the 20 basis point reduction in the base rate is primarily driven by the cumulative impact of the lower reserve costs that we have seen, for the last couple of months.
Paresh, the credit growth in the industry is close to a 2-year low, and many banks seem worried. How has the credit growth panned out for you guys, and how confident are you of achieving the 17% target?
Well, if you look at the last figures which have come out for mid-June, there's actually been a very marginal uptick in both loan and deposit growth, although it's obviously languishing from where it was a year back. The fact is that if the economy has slowed down, and we believe that credit growth tends to be a multiple of maybe 2.5 times a real GDP growth number, one can't really be surprised with the fact that loan growth has come off. In fact, there would be many who would believe that loan growth should have decelerated a lot more if you compare that with some of the numbers that are coming out on the real side of the economy in terms of some of the sales on the, for instance, on the auto and other side. Having said that, I think if the GDP growth ultimately does come through at around 6.5% or thereabouts, then I think the 16-17% or at least around 16% system loan growth we believe is still roughly achievable.
Paresh, having said that, the general macro environment is tough for India. Corporate lending seems to be slowing down. Investment cycle has broken down. Are you confident that you would be able to maintain your NIMs, which is net interest margins?
Well, I'd rather comment on anything specific to the bank's financials, whether in margin or otherwise, probably a couple of weeks down the line after we've declared our quarterly results. If you're looking at not specific in a certain time frame, but over a period of time, I think as a bank we've been through several interest rate cycles and we've maintained margins within a range. But anything more specific than that, I'm afraid we'll have to wait till the 13th, which is when we declare our quarterly results.
Right. So which sectors are going to form the chunk of your credit growth, and which sectors, Paresh, are you seeing a slump in credit demand?
Well, again, if you look at the system numbers which have been made available in the last few days, then there has been a marginal pickup on the retail side, although at around 14% it's still lagging the corporate loan growth. And within the corporate piece, I think apart from the specifics across various industries, we've certainly seen that it's primarily probably the working capital and the sort of medium-term loans which have kept the demand flowing, and that perhaps on the capex side there would have been some deceleration. So those industries which tend to fuel more demand on the term side or the capex side are the ones that have seen some drop in the total rates of growth in terms of loans.
Paresh, several banks have raised the deposit rates, especially in the shorter tenure. So is it correct to assume that liquidity in the system is not tight but very tight?
Well, you still see the total LAF borrowing at around 92,000 crores. That might come off by about 10-15,000 crores because of the additional export refinance which has been released by the RBI. So even if it comes down to about 80,000 crores, that is a borrowing which is large enough for banks to still remain uncomfortable with dropping rates, and perhaps a few of them might even be happy to increase rates, at least in specific tenors. Overall, though, I do believe that deposit rates have peaked, and while an odd bank might react in a specific tenor bucket, if at all, by and large, going forward, I think as the liquidity conditions ease further, because even at 80,000, it's a lot better than what it was at 1,20,000 just a couple of months back. So if that eases further, and especially if you tend to have a CRR cut, then in fact, if anything, the bias on deposit rates should be marginally lower, at least over the next few months, but certainly not on the way up.
Right. Paresh, the deposit growth is at a 10-year low in spite of the banks, holding on to high deposit rates. What would you attribute the slump in the deposit growth to? And is it because of the alternate investment options, or because wage inflation hasn't, quite kept pace with the consumer price inflation?
But I think, the jury is still out on that. The fact is that, basic money supply creation has been a little lower than what the projected level was. And to that extent, clearly that which flows into bank deposits would therefore have been that much lower. I think the problem is not just in terms of the absolute rate of growth. The fact is that there is a, reasonably large gap of about 4% between the rate of growth of deposits and loans. So that's really where, my earlier call on the need for a CRR cut or some infusion of liquidity is coming from. But I can't see too many other asset classes being so much more compelling from a retail, from a consumer perspective, that one can argue that money is going from bank deposits to other investment avenues. One can argue also that with a continued slightly higher level of inflation, the basic propensity to save of the consumer side of the individuals could have come down marginally. So I guess it's a combination of factors rather than one or two major reasons which can probably explain this slightly sluggish deposit growth.
So Paresh, do you think Reserve Bank of India will be forced to announce or do a CRR cut in their July policy?
But I guess the policy is a month away, so I think it may be premature to build expectations so early, because as we've seen, the numbers which might come out on everything from inflation to what's happening globally and so on, I think just before the policy would naturally tend to influence what actually comes out. I think from the banking system point of view, more than expectations at this point of time, the hope has been that liquidity conditions improve further from where they are right now, and unless you have that, any policy rate cut in any case won't easily get transmitted to lower deposit rates, and unless you have lower deposit rates, you're not going to have any meaningful drop on the lending side. So I would tend to focus more on liquidity improvement measures than the rate cuts themselves.
Fair point. Could you give us a sense of your asset quality? Your bank has held on to good asset quality for some time, but with signs of stress in small and medium corporate loans, are you witnessing pressure as well?
Well, you mentioned we have held up our asset quality off late. I thought it was more than that, for a longer period than that. But no, I think you make a fair point that the general expectation has been that one, partly because the economy is growing at sub 6% as against 8.5%, so a 2.5-3% lower rate of growth would typically impact asset quality. And then there are specific sectoral or industry project sort of related issues or customer specific issues which have been plaguing asset quality and therefore creating concerns. Again, I wouldn't want to comment on specifics of how we are seeing asset quality right now. We are, as I said, for the June quarter, when we declare our results a couple of weeks down the line, I can elaborate on that. But broadly, I think, I don't think the system is seeing an across-the-board deterioration. It's been focused more on specific customers, specific projects, or very specific segments, and which is why, depending on each bank's portfolio, you've seen these pressures show up, and in others it's been, the asset quality has been fairly stable. And I think that will remain largely the picture even in the next few months.
Paresh, any fundraising plans or any plans of any overseas borrowing?
Well, at this point of time, we're pretty comfortably capitalized both in terms of overall CAR and Tier 1. So, at least in the immediate near term, there isn't really any capital raising at all.
Few banks, Paresh, have started on to, focus on the credit card business in a very big way. What about HDFC Bank? Are you also looking at enhancing your credit card offerings?
Well, we haven't, been through that cycle as quite as much as the rest of the industry has. So I think if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, you had almost 2 years of degrowth and quite a substantial degrowth in the cards business for the industry as a whole. Relative to that, we have remained more or less flat or a marginal increase till last year. And, if you look at even the March numbers, we did see a continued growth in that portfolio. So as far as we are concerned, it's a continued growth story in the cards business and not, getting back into a growth mode after having shrunk that business. We remain pretty comfortable with the way our business has been developed, and, we are pretty confident that we'll continue to grow that.
Paresh Sutankar, Executive Director of HDFC Bank, appreciate your time and thank you for your insights. Let's look at markets. Bosch has made a very strong comeback. 91.50 for Bosch last week. Bosch was a massive underperformer after the informed exchanges that in the near term they are having inventory problem and they're looking at downsizing their production